Kartikeya Sarabhai joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. It is a big day. Scientists, the layman, children, everyone's excited. Even those who do not really have a sense of what exactly this perhaps means is still wanting to be a part of this exciting historic moment, because it is going to be a giant leap, not just for ISRO, for the space agency, but for the entire country as one unit.
Absolutely. It's also for the world, because I think nobody has explored the South Pole and the area around it. And we'll be one of the first, we'll be the first agency to do that. And it's a remarkable achievement. We are all holding our breaths just now as the time comes close to the Vikram lander coming down. But it's a wonderful moment.
Mr. Sarabhai, you are from the family that really founded the beginnings of what India's Odyssey now is really at, where India is heading, wanting to be a leader, doing rightly so as far as this entire space race is concerned. What are your feelings today? How are you feeling a few hours before that touchdown actually happens? Are there jitters? Are you excited? How do you feel right now?
Well, I think I share the feeling with everyone here in India who is all part of one family. And I think it's a wonderful feeling. It's also a feeling of pride as to what happened. My father, Sarabhai, when he first started on this journey with some key colleagues and others, it was a very tough uphill task at that time, because you had to convince the country about the importance of a space program for our country. He was very conscious that the journey India needs to take and the way it should build up its space agency is in a sense quite different from the way Russia or America in those days did it. Their mission used to be to go to the moon or whatever it was. India's was to play a pioneering role, which it has in India's development on education, remote sensing, and various other things. But the fact that we could do it in a different way, and this is how this moon Chandrayaan 3 is, it is planned differently, it's not imitative, it's unique, and it's done with the type of precision which makes everyone proud. And not only proud, it makes us inspirational. I mean, just look at the schools and the children and everyone watching this today, and how much it inspires for people to understand what science is and how we can go to the frontiers of science. So it's a wonderful moment.
And he would have been proud. This is the vision that he had that is actually being realized now. The fact that India is leading the space race, not only are we looking at the kind of missions that we're doing now or the ones we're wanting to do in the future, but the fact that we're doing this at a cost-effective mission, that's really important, because a lot of countries are also looking at wanting to be part of the space race but cannot really do so. Up until now, it was looked at something that you couldn't waste a lot of dollars on. India has proved that also cannot be an impediment and that can be run past.
And I think if you hear the type of pronunciations which are being made at BRICS just now while we are watching this, where India is providing a different way, an alternative way for developing countries to see space as something which is intrinsic to their own development. It's not a question of cost of, it is something which is money spent well worth it. And if you see the type of budgets, as you rightly said, much less than the type of budget, because the whole idea is not to make it a race. I think Vikram Sarabhai was very clear that for us, space is not a race. Space is a tool which will be essential. It's an achievement of science, and it's done for mankind as a whole, but it can be done in India. And I think this has been proved by ISRO, PRL, and so many other institutions which are participating in it from all over India. And the fact that it is led by men and women, it's participatory. We will share the information with the rest of the globe. I think it shows what India's new position is,
yes,
if you like, in terms of providing that leadership and having that magnanimity of sharing data, because we do not see it as a race. We see it as something which is a frontier. And I think there's a slight difference in the way we see that.
And it's going to be a win not just for India when that successful landing happen is going to be a win for the entire world, for all the space agencies who are hoping to follow suit. We are going to be watching it right here as our viewers tune in. Kartikeya Sarabhai, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We do hope to connect with you. We do hope for success and, of course, then connecting with you when that happens. But for the moment, thank you so much for sharing your perspective here.